Honorable nominee, let us deal with this combine harvester that you used your car loan to acquire for your constituents. So the use of the combine harvester, do the farmers pay for the use of it?
So the Aveyime rice farmers have a cooperative, and they make it's heavily subsidized, so they make a little contribution which they use to service the combine harvester, to buy fuel and all of that. So it's their internal arrangement for servicing and buying fuel.
So, honorable nominee, are they in the process paying back the facility?
No, they are not to pay back.
So, my respected colleague, let's go to April 8th. You publicly demanded on Twitter that former President Akufo-Addo should submit an annual presidential staffers report. And I'm quoting you. We demand the annual report now. Unquote. However, official records show that this report had already been submitted by the presidency to Parliament on the March 25th, 2024, and formally acknowledged by the Speaker's office on March 28th, 2024, nearly 2 weeks before your demand. As someone who is being nominated as our chief diplomat, this office requires meticulous attention to facts and careful verification before making public statements. Can you explain, one, what steps you took to verify your information before making your demand public? That's the first one.
The Clerk of Parliament, Mr. Jethro, will confirm to you that I called him to find out if the presidential staffers list had been submitted, and he responded that it had not been submitted. And you need to recall that consistently over the 8-year period is one of the items my caucus asked me to specialize in, and consistently I have had to. It's been really a difficult struggle to get the presidency to comply with that act, and you know that most often it is submitted after the March deadline. So in April 2018, I thought that consistent with that track record, they had also missed the mark, and indeed I did verify from the clerk at table, Mr. Jethro, before I put out that tweet.
But you subsequently became aware that indeed the presidency had submitted the such information ahead of your publication, correct?
So I saw a tweet, an X post by counsel to the president responding to my post that they had submitted it earlier. So I took steps to follow up from the Speaker's office. And I can't place on record that I have been pursuing that document since. Strangely, I haven't seen it, despite my pursuit. And it's not been laid in the House, which is really strange. I don't know what happened to that document in transit. But we don't have copies. No MP has been given a copy, which I find really strange.
The fact is that the Speaker's office confirmed receipt of the said document way ahead of your publication.
I wouldn't know that. President, Speaker communicating, writing letters to each other directly. They don't copy MPs. So I wouldn't know. I did my check, diligent check at the table office. Mr. Jethro told me it had not been submitted. And I then reminded the president that he has to comply. And if you check consistently, I've been reminding the president, and the president has not been complying with the law on this matter.
Well, for me, I believe that the recipient of such communication is the Speaker's office. And to be fair to the president and all presidents, not only akufo-addo, our current president, once the communication is delivered to the Speaker's office, I believe that it would only be fair that even if our initial diligence search could not reveal the delivery of such, once we become aware, it is only fair that we acknowledge same and take note. I think, in all fairness to President akufo-addo, he did not breach the law. But if you don't want to acknowledge that fact, I wouldn't press you on that. I will just move to my next question. But the fact is that at the time you put out your information, the document has already been ferried to the Speaker's office 2 weeks earlier, and you can always verify. Let me move to the next question. In March 2021, you resigned from the appointment committee, citing personal and principled reasons. You chose to act independently rather than to align with the collective decision process of your caucus. Now, as Minister of Foreign Affairs, that is when approved, you will be required to represent and defend Ghana's collective cabinet positions, even when they might differ from your personal views. Now, how do you reconcile your past actions with this fundamental requirement of cabinet collective responsibility, and what assures this committee that you would uphold this principle if confirmed as minister?
Well, thank you very much. I am a conviction politician. I have certain principles and certain standards. And the principle of collective cabinet responsibility, inherent in that principle, is that if there's a cabinet position you don't agree with, you resign. If you stay on, then you must defend that cabinet position. So if it's a matter I feel strongly about, I'm not one who finds it difficult to walk away, to preserve my convictions and my philosophies.
Thank you. I refer you to a publication by graphic.com.gh on 12 September 2017, where former Attorney General, Mr. Martin Amidu, documented several instances where you allegedly engaged in confrontational exchanges with senior political figures, including your interactions with him on Isophoton case. Now, let's hear from you. Did you engage the former AG with a view to facilitating the payment due Isophoton at the time?
Well, thank you very much. At the time, I was Deputy Minister for Information, and I received a petition, came to the ministry, and I'm glad that former Ministers of Information are here. I see the Honorable Mahama Yariga. It is key to the mandate of the Ministry of Information to receive feedback and ferry that information to the relevant quarters. So in this case, there was a petition from the director of Isophoton, and all I did was to forward that. And if you, Mr. Chair, you give me the permission to read from the current Ministry of Information's website. I have a printout here, a statement introducing the ministry, signed by the former Minister for Information, the Honorable Fatima Abubakar. And she states here, and Ghanaians who are watching can log onto the website of the Ministry of Information, which is appears to be now defunct, by the way. The Honorable Fatima Abubakar writes, quote, "Our goal as a ministry is to empower the citizens of Ghana through information dissemination, to ensure transparency and accountability in public policy cycles. The mandate of the Ministry of Information is to facilitate the gathering of feedback for the executive branch of government," unquote. This is President akufo-addo's Minister for Information. And that's all I was doing in the Isophoton matter.
Okay, so if so, why then would he describe you, from what you are saying, public office holder, you received a petition, you have forwarded it to his office. First of all, let me understand you. Did you forward the petition requesting for payment through your ministry by a letter? Did you write to his office?
No, I was not requesting for payment. I was only serving as a conveyor belt. This has been brought to the Ministry of Information. We collect feedback for various government agencies. So please receive this. That was all. I didn't pass any judgment. I'm not the Attorney General. How dare you dictate to the Attorney General on what to do?
Our members has made progress.
So, if you only ferried the letter to him, why would he therefore describe you as uncouth and somebody who has been insulting elders? Because he stated so. If there was no verbal engagement, but just a letter you wrote, how would he give you such a description?
Well, first of all, I would like to see that publication because
it's on the 12th September 2017. It's still online, so you can peruse it. That's why I wanted clarity. That what was the mode of interaction? And you have said it was through a formal letter you sent to his office regarding the petition you received from Isophoton, meaning you didn't phone him to talk to him. So if you didn't do so, how he gave you this description is why I want to know your view on it.
Fortunately, I've been
Honorable member.
I've been in the public space.
Honorable member, hold it. The question is a bit nebulous. How somebody have a view about you, you may not have control over it. So the question is either rephrased or overruled.
Chairman, you reserve the sole right on admissibility. I will respect that, always. Honorable nominee, I'm sure you become aware that the new president of the United States, through some executive orders, has been very tough on immigration and all. Obviously, without being hypothetical, there may be Ghanaians in the United States who don't have documents. How prepared are you for possible mass deportations, considering the situation we find ourselves? Share with us some strategies you intend to put in place to warmly see our compatriots safely back to Ghana.
This is a matter that is of concern to a lot of Ghanaians. And since my nomination, I have diligently inquired from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs what the status is. There have been publications that about 6,200 Ghanaians will be affected. But from the brief that has been shared with me from the officials at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they allay fears that the numbers are not that high, and that currently the official communication the ministry has received from Washington is 156, not 6,200, 156 Ghanaians who face imminent deportation. And indeed, they indicate that about 40 of them have been asked to be, they've asked our mission in Washington to process those people expeditedly to be deported. It's clear that President Trump is really serious about this, his executive order. If you follow what happened to the Colombians when